A new year and a new you. That's what we're talking about on this episode of the Business Coaching Success Podcast. Let's jump in. BJ O'Neill here with the Business Coaching Success Podcast. So glad you're here, where I share with you strategies, tools, and tips to be able to grow your business coaching practice to six figures and beyond as a Christian business coach. Let's jump in. Well, welcome. Glad that you are here, and happy 2025. We always say it's hard to believe that we've turned the corner to yet another year. It's really not that hard, though. We understand how the calendar works. But in this episode, we typically focus on these types of conversations around the turn of a year. It's a great time for reflection. It's a great time for just processing life where you are, especially, we talk about this word seasoned. If you're in that seasoned part of life, in other words, you're north of, 40 years old for sure. And if you're not, that's okay. But certainly if you are, you really start reflecting about where you are in life and what's going on. Is it time for a change? Is it time for a shift? And what I mean by that is in terms of what you do for a living and how you provide resources, that is, how you provide income. We talk to a lot of guys, a lot of people, a lot of coaches, a lot of folks who are looking at making a shift, and for a lot of different reasons. So, for instance, if you're in that season of life and you feel, I'll use the word unsettled. Maybe that's not the exact right word for you, but you definitely just feel a stirring. Maybe that's a better word. And it's not always a bad thing. Like you don't like the things that you're going through. So, for instance, perhaps you're a business owner and you enjoy business, you enjoy marketing. For some of you, it's all you've ever done. For others, maybe you've done it for 5 or 10 years, but you're in a season of stirring, and it's like, I really would love to take some of my skills and my experiences and help others, specifically as a strategist, as a coach, help them to succeed, help them to overcome the obstacles and the barriers and the things that they go through. Maybe that's you. Perhaps maybe you're in you've been in a 9-to-5 world. You could be a VP, vice president in your sales or marketing or operations or whatever. Or maybe you're at the C-suite level and you've done it for many years. You've done it for 10, 15, 20, 25 years. And it's just, it's not the passion, the scenarios, they're just not what they used to be. You've done it. You've been there. You've been able to just fulfill all that you possibly can fulfill in the environment that you're in. And you're looking for something new. And this is a year that you believe that exploring that new thing, but you don't know what it is just yet. Or maybe that you went through an unfortunate in the last 90 days or so, or longer. You went through downsizing, and it happens consistently. You feel like you gave it your all. You feel like that you did everything that you were asked to do, and then some, and still you find yourself at this place. And regardless of where you're at, regardless if you are that business owner, maybe you work for the business owner, maybe you've supported somebody else's dream for many, many years, and you're looking to develop your own. Okay? Here's what I can tell you. My own personal experiences, as well as working with lots and lots and lots of individuals over many years on developing themselves as a strategist, as a business coach, as someone who is helping others increase their leadership capacity, helping them to significantly increase their profits and their revenues of the business. And the list goes on and on and on. Here are the things that we know, that regardless of where you are in your journey in your career, whether you're 35 years of age or you're 55 years of age, 60 years of age, 65 years of age, if you feel stuck, in other words, you're waking up every day, the weeks go by, the months go by, and that stirring just doesn't go away. And you're labeling it as stuck. Perhaps it's not stuck, but it's mundane. It's not that you're not appreciative. It's not that you aren't thankful for the provisions that you've had. But when it comes to fulfilling purpose, when it comes to fulfilling meaning, you just feel stuck. Maybe you're waking up every day and there's just the light of passion is no longer there. That you just feel like you're on the hamster wheel. It's just rotation after rotation after rotation after rotation, and you're looking for the new adventure, right? And purpose matters, passion matters. Obviously, we want to invest as strategists and coaches. We certainly want to make an impact on others, but at the same time, for ourselves, what we're looking to grow for our own self, we're looking for more freedom. We're looking for flexibility. We want to be able to control the dollars and the cents that we make. And I do want to pause and kind of park on that for a moment, because I don't think it's talked about enough. We talk about, consistently, hey, here's what you can do as a business coach, as a business strategist, as a consultant, even those who kind of mix in speaking into that, or some who are focused more just on leadership development. Some are focused on profit development. There's a number of ways you can do it. But when it comes to finances, and I want you to really process this for a moment. When it comes to finances, I think we, especially as Christ followers, as believers, as I am, and perhaps you are as well, we sometimes get wrapped around the axle of this thought about where does money kind of fit into the whole thing? Well, look, you got to have resources, period. You got to make a living. You've got to put food on the table. You have to provide a roof over a head. You have to have transportation, right? You have to put some things away to be able to provide when we get into those retirement years, whatever that number is for you. And if you don't have, one, resources, two, enough of them, things get sticky and tricky. And I want to be careful with I'm going to say something that will possibly be controversial, but I think it's important. Money does solve a lot. Now, some will hear that and they'll go, oh, you're all about money. No. Look, ministries, churches can exist in this world today without finances. There's a lot of amazing organizations and ministries and churches all over the world. They don't exist without provision and without resources. Well, guess what? You and your family don't either. I'm not referring to that fact that you have to build a 10,000 square foot home and go on luxury cruises. If you feel called to do that and that's what you want to do, knock yourself out. But bigger than that, most who are unsettled and on stirring, they want to control what they earn. And it can be done every day. It's being done every single day, regardless if that's $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year, $350,000 a year or more, which is, again, up to you. When you're in control, nobody can take it away. And I understand some hear that when you don't understand how to do it. You're like, how is that even possible? We'll get to that in a moment. And we'll just touch on it briefly. But the bigger is, when we're talking about 2025, you have this stirring, regardless of where you're at in your career and your business and your company, or maybe you're not there anymore, but you want to control your destiny. You want to have the flexibility. You want to live where you want to live, work where you want to work. A family member of mine, there's nothing wrong with this. I'm just using it as context. But a family member of mine who's building their likely forever home right now, they're a couple of acres type of deal. The neighbor who was building next to them was building their forever home. They're in that season of life where that's a normal thing to do. They're now having to sell their lot, a couple of acres, not my family, but the neighbor, simply because their job is changing and it's forcing a move. Now, again, nothing wrong with that, except they are devastated. They're frustrated. And if that's you today, all this simply means is that we're not in control. So when we look at a new year and a new you, business coaching, business strategy, leadership coaching, consulting gives you the opportunity to be in control of where you physically want to be, where you physically can do the job. I can travel all over the world and still do my job. You would never know the difference. Beautiful part about coaching. It's a hugely, is that even a word? I don't think it is. It's largely one of the big reasons is the term flexibility. And so you can create passive income as a coach. You can create that passive income through one-on-one relationships. You can create a new you by group coaching others. 3 people in the room, 10 people in the room. You can create workshops where people pay to be in that room. You can create paid mastermind groups. Doesn't matter how you do it. The bigger purpose is you get to fulfill a purpose for you by helping others succeed. Okay? So if you've got that stirring, you have felt kind of, I've been in the same place. Here's what I can encourage you with. And this is an encouragement. It may sound to some negative. It's not. It's an encouragement. If you're feeling that way today, and certainly if you felt that way for many months and unfortunately many years, here's what will happen likely. I don't know all the answers clearly, no more than anybody else does, but there's a great likelihood that you will feel exactly how you feel 12 months from now if you don't do something about it. Okay? Now, if you're not stuck, you love what you do, whatever, this is not for you. Or at least today, the message is maybe not be for you today. But if you're looking for a new path, a new passion, a new set of purpose, you want to control your income, you want to have flexibility, you want to be in control. It doesn't mean it's easy, by the way. No one's suggesting such a thing, but that's the end result that you want. Then certainly that I would argue that business consulting and coaching could be for you. What do you do? Well, you do have to begin to learn. Being on this podcast or listening to this podcast right now is exactly one of those steps. But listening and watching and learning alone is not enough. You need to investigate. What's the right fit for me? You know, like for instance, in our coaching system, in Business Coach Mastery and the system and the tools, our total done-for-you strategy that we give coaches, we focus, not exclusively, but we focus largely on helping drive profits in the business. And here's why. When you aren't focused on profits, then all the other things, leadership, hiring people, all the stuff that's important and we have to do, it won't be there. Matter of fact, we have one of our coaches who's working with someone right now that had a record year in 2024, but they're going through layoffs right now. So they had a record revenue year, yet they're having to lay people off because they spent more money than they actually generated revenue. So the revenue by itself is not enough. And I don't want to get too weedy right here, but the bigger point is you got to figure out, is helping someone with profits, helping someone with leadership development, the combination of both, which I would argue is the sweet spot. And that's certainly what I believe in personally. That's just me. You don't have to do that. But you got to start to take action to learn. All right. So here's your choices. You go out and figure it out on your own, develop it on your own. Systems, tools, resources, the whole thing. Hard to do, but doable. You can do it if you want to spend a lot of money in developing tools and resources and slide decks and whatever. That's certainly an option. You can do hybrid versions where you can kind of piecemeal some things together. And there's certainly resources and tools that are out there that you can go online and you can white label some tools here or there, build your own, whatever, and just kind of blend it all together. I did that for a long time. It got very difficult because, things change often. Technology changes. Our culture changes, how we teach, how we consume. It all shifts. So you're constantly not just coaching, but you're having to create new tools and resources all the time. And it's arduous, but certainly doable. The third option, which obviously, as someone who is teaching it, preaching it, clearly believes it's the path to go for the vast majority of people, maybe not everyone, but a done-for-you strategy in a system. This way, you're not reinventing the wheel. This way, you're not having to, you're not making the tools, you're not making the resources. So you could argue that there's some, pieces in there that, you have done it this way rather than that way. But the thing is, you don't have to go and create the tools, the software, the resources, the technology, the training, the list goes on and on and on. But here's what I know. If you don't start investigating, should I build my own? Should I do a hybrid? Should I do it done for you? Whatever. If all you do is just think about it, if all you do is just ponder it, March will come, August will come, December 2025 will come, and you'll be in the same spot that you're in right now. So I just want to encourage you to take action. That's the biggest thing. You have to figure out what's the best for you, the right resource for you, the right systems for you, the right tools for you, the right community for you. That's the part that you have to make the decision on, but none of that's going to matter until you get on the phone, until you get systems in your hands to evaluate what's for you. That's how you can get to in this new year, a new you. Perhaps what we offer is for you. You won't know it until you learn about it. And if you're interested in learning about it, you can go to businesscoachmastery.com. That's businesscoachmastery.com. There's some information that you can fill out there in our Done For You system inside of our Business Coach Mastery community. You'll get some info there. If you're interested in learning more, you can book a quick chat. You'll hear from us. We'll give you some resources to our tools so you can check them out to determine, is this worth learning more about for you? That's where you come in. You need to make that decision. Everybody's in a different spot. Everyone's needs are somewhat different. At the end of the day, you get to make a choice. What I don't want to see you do, whether I may never talk to you, I may never engage with you, sitting in the same spot day after day and not getting momentum and being miserable, being stuck, feeling mundane, feeling passionless, feeling like the lights have gone out and you're just going through the motions is one of the most miserable feelings in the world, at least as far as I'm concerned. I've been there. I get it. I've talked to a lot of people who have been there. I don't want to see you do it. Take action to determine, is this my year to step out, to put my own shingle over my head, to control my own destiny, to control and make things happen and help others succeed, help guiding them through processes, guiding them through principles to grow. And here's the cool thing, and I'll leave it here. When you're guiding them, when you're helping them, you are not just a coach and a strategist. You're helping them to earn more, to hire more people, to invest into their communities, to invest if they're believers as well like you, maybe to their church or other ministries that they feel called to do. Well, they can't do that if they're stuck. You could be their answer potentially. All right, there you go. Happy New Year. Take action. Get after it. Don't let this be just another year that you just go through the motions. Take care.